My name is Rob Douglas. I've been kiting since 2005. Primarily my focus is on the speed side of the sport, which is as far probably to one side of the sport as you can get. And I'm here in La Ventana because some of the best course boarders are here competing. And any time on the water is good time, whether it be a course board or whether it be a speed board. You can learn from each discipline and apply it. There's lots of technology that are similar, and the skills are similar. I would train with the course guys, and in a straight line, I feel bigger is faster, and it's something that I was interested in. I've always sailed in heavy conditions, lots of wind. My hometown has lots of flat water, which is very good for speed sailing. So it's something that kind of naturally progressed, and it just comes from a love of kiting. And if you can find something inside of kiting which you desire to be the best at, to me it was speed sailing. And I think if you talk to these guys, they're always trying to get faster. And the question is, no matter if you're racing motorcycles or if you're in sailboats or if you're on a kite, how fast can you go? And that was the question I wanted to answer. I think there is improvements to be made within the inside of course racing. They've come up with a box rule. They have a max length and a max width, which is going to really control how the future of the sport, course racing, progresses. Inside of speed sailing, it's totally unlimited. So we can really go crazy and try different stuff. And there's good aspects to both. It's competitive when you have kind of a box rule, but on the other hand, bigger guys who are forced to sail the same size board as a smaller guy, he's going to have some problems. But in the speed side of it, it's kind of opened up, which allows kind of crazy ideas to be developed, and that's also good. So there's a complement to both. Within course racing, I mean, you can experience a lot of power in 15 knots of wind. So that's all good stuff, because it's hard. Today the world record, you're going to need 45 to 50 knots. That's not something easy or something you can go out and experience every day. But in 15 knots, I mean, we are hitting 32, 33, maybe 34 knots on a course board, which is good training, and that's good feedback to kind of push the limits and kind of learn and apply things to the speed sailing side of things. These guys haven't, a lot of these course guys haven't done speed sailing, but I think they would be, they'd all be very good at it. And I think you'll see probably a couple of those guys go over there and try to do it, because if you do one or the other, it all goes hand in hand, and you become a better, well-rounded sailor. Given the right conditions today, kiting can see 57, 58 knots, and I think 60 knots is really right around the corner. I think the current gear has the ability to do it. It's just finding the conditions of flat water, and probably in excess of 50 knots, and you could easily see 57, 58, and maybe 60. Coming from a sailing background, I'm totally excited about it, because to me if you look at it, to me it's ultimately the most easily accessible financially aspect of sailing. If you want to go out and buy a laser, you're going to spend more on the laser than you are on the best kiteboard and the best kite today. If you look at the wind minimums now, these guys are running in 6, 7, 8 knots. That's pretty incredible, all the way up to 50 knots. So if you look at the class of kiteboarding within sailing, what it can do from the snow to the dirt to the speed course to the waves to flat water, to me it's the pinnacle of sailing, and it's just going to continue to become it's more and more special kiting. Kiting is relatively new inside of sailing, and that kind of stuff kind of attracts that kind of skeptical look about it. Anything that pushes the limits, or that's kind of the new kid on the block, is going to get that examination of what it really is. And speed sailing went through that when we started to beat the boats who have been trying to break 50 knots for the last 10, 15 years, and all of a sudden kiters showed up with financially with a very small budget, and we're able to just really do incredible things very, very quickly. So that gets looked at. To me, the definition of sailing is clear. We're on the water, we're powered by a sail, and we're all sailors. So yeah, I think it's great. I think ultimately you look at it and you say, if you know the guys who are put a main focus on seeing how fast they can go and who will be the fastest sailor in the world, and they finally do it. And then there's a little bit of from some sailboat, groups that kind of question it. Yeah, there's a little probably competitiveness going on there, and some healthy combat, but that comes with the territory. I think if you look at any kind of sport or any kind of industry, ultimately the person who really, or the individual or the activity that really pushes the limits that's going to be scrutinized, and kiting was. But I think rather quickly they decided that yeah, it is new, it's different, but ultimately it is sailing. If you look at the evolutionary curve of things, they've been doing it a lot longer than we have, and we've had such a rapid climb in the technology and the development of the gear. But I think that's going to, that's what's so exciting about kiteboarding, is we're so new. There's so much more that can be answered, and that doors will be opened by kiting in 5 knots or kiting in 50 knots. The future to me in kite sailing right now, whether it be on the speed course or on the course board, is probably one of the most exciting times that right now in the sport, and we face a great future. I said, any time on the water, be on a course board or a twin tip or a surfboard or a speedboard, it all helps. In the conditioning, it all helps, and just understanding. I ride a course board because there's so much to learn, and you can learn stuff and you can apply it to whatever discipline within kiting that interests you. The first thing I think I would suggest is to get a GPS. It's relatively inexpensive. It's a small little unit called a GT31, and it gives you so much information that you can easily just plug into your PC or your Apple and take a look at all the information, and you can go out there, and before you know it, you'll see 30 knots, and then you'll see 35, and you'll see 40, and that's such an interesting thing that you can monitor daily. And as you take these little steps and speed increases over time, it's just going to become something that's addictive. You're going to want to say, hey, I want to see 50, and it can be done. I think there'll be a good attempt this year. Hopefully a bunch of speed sailors in France, which is really the mecca, in my opinion, of sailing, and for sure for speed sailing. If you look at all the major speed sailing records around the world, transatlantic, they're held by the French. Yeah, there's talk in 2012 of building a trench in France, and if they do that, it would be great for the sport. I know they have the conditions. They have more wind than Africa, and if that was to happen, that's where I think you're going to see really close to 60, if not 60 knots being broken.